Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Ukrainians are telling us what are the Russian plans in Ukraine after they obviously conquered Soledar and they are on the way to Bakhmut. And after Bakhmut the whole Donbass will fall, and then what? So these are the probably the chronology of events in the next month or so. I would say 2 months. Hey, let's see what Ukrainska Pravda tells us. This article comes from January 12, 2023, Thursday, today. This is the title: Russians plan to capture Donbass and then take over Zaporozhye Oblast. Surprised so far? Because I'm not. Remember, the Russians demonstrated so far, at least to me personally, that they are consistent. And that is, if they tell you something that, I will do this for you, Gigi, they will do that for you. If they say, Gigi, I will not do this for you, they will not do this for you, good or bad. Okay, this is what I observed regarding Russian intentions. So when they say, we're going to, I'm going to use that term, liberate all the territories that conducted referenda and choose to, be part of Russia, they will do that. They will do that, or at least they will work towards that. So there's no surprise that the next step would be obviously Zaporozhye Oblast. I mean, this is not like rocket science. They told us. We know what they're going to do. They told us why they entered Ukraine, what the intention is, what they want to accomplish in Ukraine, what they want to accomplish with NATO, what they want to accomplish with the United States of America. That was clearly stated before 2022. In 2010-21, in December, was the last time the Russians tried to have NATO, United States, European powers sit at the same table and say, okay, let's put down certain kind of things, sign and agree upon. Which is what, Russia? Well, we want some security guarantees because NATO brings weapons too close to us, which is Ukraine. So how about we do something? And they say, well, you know what? We don't want to talk to you. Suit yourself. Well, suit yourself. So that's why the Russians unprovoked attacked Ukraine. So, and the same, they said they will denazify Ukraine. They will do that. They said they will demilitarize Ukraine. They will do that. Now, how they will do that, I have no idea. I can, think about it, but anyway, let's move on and see here. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine expects in the near future Russian troops will try to capture the entire territory of Donetsk Oblast and then try to occupy part of Zaporozhye Oblast. Source: Brigadier General Oleksiy Hromov, Deputy Chief of the Main Operational Directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine during a briefing on January 12th. Quote from Hromov: "It is expected that in the near future the enemy will try to reach the administrative borders of Donetsk Oblast and may intensify its actions to capture the left bank part of Zaporozhye Oblast." Details: the General Staff also predicts that the invaders will continue to carry out airstrikes on critical infrastructure facilities throughout Ukraine. Well, I don't know if that prediction is possible to be achieved by the Russians, and I will tell you why. We know that the British intelligence is paramount. Doesn't make mistakes, informs us only about the truth, the same as the American intelligence community, so-called. So, that's a guy by the name of Ben Wallace, okay? And this Ben Wallace, I think he's a Minister of Intelligence something in Great Britain. I'm just kidding, I know exactly who that guy is, okay? And you know exactly who that guy is. So he is telling us, he's an expert. He gets all the intelligence and then he comes and tells us what's next and what's in Russia's yard. On the December 24th, 2022, So that's about 15, 16, 17 days ago or so. This person came and said, you know what? Russia is incapable of conducting another massive missile strike attack on Ukraine. Why? He argued they are depleted of their missile and rocket stockpile. That's done. Yay! And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, Benny. Anyway, so that was on the 24th, and that's why I said, Benny, I will hold you responsible for that. You will be accountable. I will say this each and every time this thing shows up with, oh, the Russians are going to conduct. And guess what? The Russians conducted a massive missile attack, not only 24, when this Ben Wallace came and informed us of his intelligence gathered by his intelligence services. In 2 days, all right, to be precise, on the 26th of December, the Russians conducted a massive missile attack on Ukraine. 2 days after this guy said Russia is incapable anymore, is done. Then on the 29th, the same thing. I think then on the 29th, the Russians conducted the biggest missile attack in the whole 10 months, 11 months since they are tangled in Ukraine against NATO. And there was about 140 missiles and rockets and all that. So Ben Wallace and the intelligence, when they see something, take it like that. All right? Now you have to understand, and probably you already know, the intelligence services are not only to provide us with accurate information. It's with information that provides out there for the enemies to pick and be disinformed actually, because it's disinformation, not misinformation, because they know what they're doing. So yeah, there's some people over there, departments involved in disinformation. That's exactly what probably this guy did. But doing that, he created hope to the Ukrainians and other weasels who do not know the reality or don't even grasp the basics of reality, thinking, yeah, Wallace said so, it must be so. They don't understand, I don't know, almost anything. They get their information from the current mass media. You have to read. You have to read things outside of the mass media. You have to have a foundation first. You have to remember. You have to create patterns. You have to analyze. You have to synthesize. And then come with a conclusion. Now, let's see what else this guy says. So, Hromov says that predicts that the invaders will continue to carry out airstrikes on critical infrastructure facilities. Yes, they will. Tell Ben Wallace that he's not very accurate. See how nice I am? Hromov added that in order to implement its plans to capture Ukraine, Russia doesn't want to capture Ukraine, let's put it this way. It wants to control how Ukraine is militarized and how it's hostile to Russia. That's correct. They didn't say they want to capture it. Militarily, never heard this. So I'm expecting, and then why would you want to have about 40 million people taken in your country that hate your guts? Really armed to the teeth, a failed state. I don't think that's in Russia's interest, and then they never made that demand. That stupidity was pushed by the mass media and the Western guys who are doing this for the audience of the certain kind of level. I'm talking below 86 IQ. Russia has announced large-scale measures to reform the armed forces, in particular to increase the total number of troops to 1.5 million military personnel and to form at least 20 new divisions. Yes, that's what you say, but you said many things. The General Staff believes that these actions by the Russian Federation testify to the Kremlin's intention to engage in a long-term confrontation and their preparation for large-scale hostilities. The main goal of the enemy remains the capture of the entire territory of our country and the destruction of the statehood of Ukraine. Homorov concluded, no, I think that's false. They will not capture the entire territory. They will destroy all your army if they can. That means you can't hit at them, but they will not conquer it and stay over there and occupy your whole country. They have no reason. Why would you do that? Well, you can give obviously reasons. I would say to be close over there, to control. That's how they are, you know. Things like this, like weasel arguments. They never said anything like that. And besides, for the long-term haul, yes, they are. But if you bring more troops, that means you want to finish up early, don't you? Otherwise, if you don't bring the troops, the things will prolong, for more months. But if you bring more people, that means you try to speed up something, a process at least. In this case, they changed even the ground army chief of staff or some, not chief of staff, commander. They just replaced him after 3 months. Why do you do that? That means they're not happy with what they've done so far. That would be the first, interpretation of why would you change something that works so well. Remember, if something works well, don't change anything. That means if you change, something is going on. So anyway, it seems like the Wagner group is more prepared to fight than the Russian army that is currently over there, which is about 300,000 people at most from the beginning of February 24th. The rest are auxiliaries, as the Romans said, Chechens, this and that, and mercenaries, and whomever, volunteers, okay? Anyway, the Russians now want to disrupt their problems or their society in Russia. That's why they didn't want to see a lot of Russians coming, cold home. But it's okay with people in the republics that they liberate, and the volunteers, mercenaries, it's a different story. So yeah, I think that yes, Mr. whatever your name was, Romov, they will try to take everything they said they will take, and they will not take what they didn't say that which is they didn't say we're going to occupy Ukraine. That's in your brain, and the Western media tries to create that thing, so people say, oh, that means next could be us. Yes, so we send everything over there. All right. If we go by this kind of scenarios, I have a lot of scenarios. I can poop up a lot of scenarios, okay? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.